Hello everyone, I'm Owen Bittner,
And I'm Colin Worst.
and welcome to Table Talks.
Today we'll be discussing about a new monument that's being proposed in LA. Tell us about it, Owen.
I personally don't know much about it, but we sent out our best reporter, Marcynthias, to give us all the latest scoops. Now off to you, Marcynthias.
Thanks, Colin. My name's actually Max, but that's okay. I'm here today in LA for the proposed site of the Hydro Flask Monument. It's here to raise awareness for global warming. Back to you, Colin and Owen in the studio.
Oh. Wow. Thank you, Marcynthias. Colin, what do you think about that matter?
You know, Owen, I really think it's great that they're trying to raise awareness for global warming, which has such a big prevalence in our society. But I'm just really not so sure about the details.
Send it back to Marco Synthesis.
Yeah, huh? Gosh. Of course. Yeah. Thanks, Owen and Colin. Now, folks, I know you're all wondering, Max, why are you in a different setting with different clothes on? Now, my mom said I had to be home from LA at 6 o'clock, and I left at 6 o'clock. So you can just imagine the trouble I'm in right now. And I apparently had practice, so I got home, got changed, but by that time it was already 12 at night. So, any matter, let's talk juicy details. Let's talk business. Now, the cost of the Hydro Flask Monument is going to be around $60 million. That's right, folks. $60 million cash. Now, that is a huge amount of money for a statue, but what makes up for it? The height. Now, the height is standing tall at 110,000 feet in the air, which is a huge monument. It's going to look absolutely spectacular in LA. Now, the materials used for the Hydro Flask Monument was stainless steel, and I think that's an absolutely tactical move from the boys down the lab, because you can get stainless steel for real cheap nowadays. Back to you, Owen and Colin, in the studio. Owen, my name is Max. My name is Max.
Okay. Thank you, Marco Photosynthesis. That seems awfully pricey.
You know, adding in that plus labor wages, I cannot imagine how much this entire project will cost.
Yeah, let's find out. Back to you, Marco Polo.
Yes. Thank you, Owen and Colin. Now, Colin, you're right. That is an extremely controversial issue. But there are some more relevant controversial issues we have to discuss here today. Number one, my time there in LA, the people on the streets were just talking about it left, right, and center. I'll have you know. So one of the things I picked up what people were discussing was some people just don't want to see a huge Hydro Flask in LA, which I find completely ridiculous because it's going to look absolutely stunning once it's all done finished. Number two, some people just don't support global warming, which is a personal opinion that is pretty hard to change. And the third one is that people are concerned about habitat destruction for LA, which is a reasonable argument, but I feel like since the message is so strong, everything will be okay. What's up, guys? It's just Max here. My mom said I can go back to LA, so I'm on my way. Let's get this going. Today we're taking the streets of LA to ask people what they think of the Hydro Flask Monument.
Thank you, Marcus. Now let's go ask a Cambridge science graduate on why the Hydro Flask is a good way to represent global warming. Hi.
How you doing?
What's your views on the proposed monument idea?
You're talking about that giant thermal flask.
Yeah.
And I think you boys have looked into 4 years law. You did some work with that, and you looked at the thermal conductivity of the material you're working with, right? I think that if you look at the coefficient of heat transfer and the overall heat transfer coefficient, you're going to be okay. You're going to lose some heat. It's just impossible not to lose some heat. But I think overall you're going to be able to keep that water cool, and it should work. I think you've done your background, and through the things we've worked through, I think you'll be in great shape.
Hey, thank you.
Congratulations.
Now let's go ask a bystander on the streets of LA. Hi, what's your thoughts on the Hydro Flask?
I think it's a really amazing monument. You know, it's gonna bring a lot of happiness to the people, bring a lot of peace, and yeah, couldn't be more excited about it.
Hey, thank you. Now let's go ask a Poway High School student what his thoughts are on the Hydro Flask. Zach Adams, what are your thoughts on the Hydro Flask?
I think the Hydro Flask is a great monument idea, especially because global warming is such an issue in today's society. Since 1906, the Earth has increased its temperature by 1.6 Fahrenheit. This warming of the planet is currently causing glaciers to melt and precipitation patterns to change. Animals are being forced to change migration patterns or potentially die. The heat can cause wildfires, and crop pests are thriving throughout our forest lands. This monument would help reconsider the factors and make a change in people's lives to save our planet. Now back to you, Colin and Owen in the studio.
Thank you so much, Marsibilius.
Thank you, Ajam.
Thank you for tuning in to another great episode of Table Talks. Remember, come tune in with us every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. See you next time at 7:43. Goodbye.